In this demonstration, we're going to look at the data reduction feature. We'll be able to identify the methods to enable data reduction on a storage resource and then view those savings. So we'll look now at some of the system efficiency features here on a Unity 4.3 system. And it's changed a bit since previous releases. We see here we're looking at the dashboard, and we want to find out where we can view some of these data reduction settings. So you see here that the system capacity view uh, is going to show me the amount of space due to enabling data reduction on this particular Unity system. Now I can add different views by going to the main menu and setting a customized view block. In this case, I want to look at storage efficiency. So you see here that I have a storage efficiency view block. I have information about that, the overall efficiency itself, and then the efficiency savings from thin snapshots in total data reduction. And I'm going to go ahead and add that view block. So I want to be able to see this when I log on to the Unity system using Unisphere. And here it is. We can see some information now. Again, this is going to be a overall efficiency that includes compression and data deduplication. Now I can see the pools that are available on this Unity. I have an extreme performance pool, and I'm taking a look at the drives within that pool, and they happen to be all SAS Flash 2 drives. And of course, this particular feature is going to be only available on all flash pools. So this next pool, this performance pool, consists of SAS drives, so I can't set up data reduction on those. And that is on a resource that includes those particular drives. So the next thing I can do, I can look at some of the block resources. I have some LUNs, and I can see that those LUNs are on the all-flash pool. And the size of these is 25 gig. One is 100 gig. And then if I sort of expand this out by highlighting the LUN, I'll see information on that particular LUN. You can see that in this case, that LUN, the data reduction, is not on for that LUN. However, it is a thin LUN. And so I show no data reduction savings for that. Now if I look at this particular LUN, I see that it again is a thin LUN, and data reduction is not set on this LUN yet either. And when you create a LUN, this is when you have the opportunity to go ahead and set that. So I see no. So again, no savings can be had here. And this is the extreme performance pool. Now this LUN, I have data reduction set, and you can see the parameters of that. So data reduction is on. It's a thin LUN. It's on the extreme performance pool. So you see I was able to set that data reduction on that particular LUN. So again, when you create the LUN, you have this opportunity to do that. And you can disable that anytime during from the LUN properties page. So here we see the LUN properties page for DR01. We see the box, and we see the box for data reduction. I have to check that box, and from now on, all the incoming writes which have data reduction applied are going to be compressed and deduped through the various algorithms. So that's how you check the box on an existing LUN. Of course, if it had been a new LUN, then I would have just created that box and checked that box initially. And some other data reduction. Of course, I don't have any savings here. I haven't written any data to the LUN yet. So again, it has to be a thin LUN, and it has to be a thin resource, I should say, because file is available as well. So I'm going to apply that to those LUN properties. And once I see that is complete, I now have data reduction enabled on that LUN. So I took an existing LUN and I enabled it on that LUN. And here you see the results of that. So again, I can go to the file side of things, And I don't have any files created here. I can look at file system, but I don't have any, so I'm going to go ahead and just create a file system just to show you the process, because a storage resource could be a file resource as well. So in this case, I'm going to configure a file resource. I'll give it a name. For the creation of the file system, it's NAS FS1. And I want you to see here that, again, it's a thin resource, and that the data reduction box needs to be checked in order for data reduction to be applied to that LUN. So this is the creation then of a file system resource. That has to go in the extreme pool. And I'll enable that thin resource, and I'll enable that as well. So I enabled that, or in this case I disabled it, and that's where you're going to do that when you create that particular resource. But I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to cancel out. I just wanted to show you where that was. So now we can go ahead and create a LUN. This is a block storage LUN. I'll give it a name. And just call it whatever the friendly name you want to call it. You see, it's the Stream Performance Pool, and it's going to be in the again, the performance pool, and I'll enable the block storage resource data reduction here. So this is the creation then of a block storage resource with data reduction. Or you see, I can in this case, if I don't check thin, I don't have data reduction enabled. So again, it's only on a thin resource. That option is not available unless you check thin. So I'll go ahead and check that, and you see the box becomes available, and I can check it. And I'll just again cancel all that. So block storage resources, and canceling that. Now in this case, I can see again, I can create a LUN. Give it another name. In this case, I want to create it, again, I want to create it on a pool, but you see in this case I try to create it on a performance pool. In other words, a non-flash pool. And you see that that option isn't available. So the has to be on a all-flash pool. So that's what you're going to see if you try to create that on a pool that is a hybrid pool. And if you hover over that, you'll get some information about that. So it's only going to be available on an all-flash pool. So we'll switch it. Just wanted you to see that, and again, that becomes available. And that's how you go about configuring a particular resource, in this case a block resource. And I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of the creation wizard here for that LUN. So I created it. I created it on an all-flash pool. There are my results. And I see it down here as a data reduction LUN. It's 100 gigabytes. It's in the pool. It's not thin, and there's no data reduction applied to that particular LUN. Nor can I apply it to that LUN, of course, because it's a thick resource. And here's all the information about the DR0 LUN. You see, I do have some savings here. 2.7 gigabytes already showing up. Of course, the savings are going to depend on what type of I/O you're writing to the particular LUN. Some streams, some I/O types are going to lend themselves better to data reduction algorithms, that is compression, dedupe, than others. And here we see the properties for DR01. You can see here also, I'm going to apply some changes here. And you can see some of the total space used and some of the other information here. So I turned on data reduction. I actually was moving some data at this time, so I want to show you some of the features that are different here. So I do have savings on this particular set of I/O, and it's about 2 to 1 here, 51%. And again, that's going to vary on the I/O, in the type of I/O, I should say. So you can see that displayed. In this case, I'm displaying the LUN properties, and that's where you can view that particular information. Back to the dashboard, we'll see if we had any changes here. Of course, the storage efficiency view block, you see that I do have some reduction savings as well. And it even breaks it down into thin and snapshot resources and data reduction. However, that's going to be a conglomeration of all this, so the total overall efficiency savings is a combination of all those. So my view block, and what you can see from the view block. And also you can see again up in the capacity part we had information as well. So you see again we continue to write data, and we continue to get more savings. In this case, I want to show you how you can tailor your menu, and I can add data reduction and data reduction savings to the menu bar, so to the columns. And so it's another way you can view the savings. So you see here I did that. I checked the appropriate box, and now I'm able to determine whether data reduction is enabled on that particular resource and what that savings is for that resource. So in this case, we've realized, for example, 24.2 gigabytes of savings for DR0. And that is going to conclude the data reduction demonstration.